Hey, turkey hunters, there's no denying that the 2022 season is just a little bit rougher here in Missouri than normal. The numbers are definitely down. I myself, personally, I've shot one, and I've just been calling for other people, trying to get them their first turkeys, and I enjoy that more. I've done that the past few years. Just because there's 2 tags don't mean I need to fill them both. So just trying to get other people out there and find some other turkeys. But it's rough, and we can use any help we can get. So this video is of an interview from a great guy, a great guide also. Charlie is his name, from Missouri Hunting and Outdoor Adventures. I've learned a lot from this guy. He let me kind of do a video interview with him a few years ago, and I'm going to share it with you. And his heating and cooling technique that he describes briefly is exactly what I use to fill out my turkeys and see what they want and how they're going to work. So the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn a lot about turkey calling. Enjoy it, and hope you get something out of it.
Justin wanted me to sort of convey to you guys how I work a spring turkey. I've been hunting turkeys since the late 60s. Been making our own calls for a while, and just thought I'd let you know sort of how some of the tips that help get a spring bird in. The way I usually start out in the morning is with an owl hooter. While the birds are still on the roost, try to get them to answer the owl hoot. If you can get a bird to answer that, and of course you know where he's at, you get as close as you can to him without spooking him. Whether that be, it depends on the cover, and I try to get within 100 yards. You'd like to be closer, but sometimes you can't, so usually about 100 yards. And then get set up by preferably a big dark bark tree. And then when I start in, I don't call much on the roost. Usually all I give a turkey on the roost is just a couple of tree yelps, which will go something like this. Just a couple of little light yelps. And as the turkey answers you, I usually shut up and let him gobble on the limb. Because what a turkey's doing, he's sitting up there waiting for that hen to come under the tree, and he'll stay there and gobble for a while. And then once you hear him pitch down, there's a couple of different routes you can do. Once he hits the ground, you can either, as soon as you're sure he's on the ground, you can do a fly down cackle, which normally I'll do that on a mouth call. That matches the wing beats of that hen when she's flying down. When she hits the ground, then she'll usually give him a couple of mating yelps. And if the gobbler answers that, then I usually shut up for a little while. Let him strut and gobble. Sometimes they'll come straight in to you. If he hangs up out there, a lot of times I'll do what I call heating and cooling. I'll either cut to him on a mouth call or a slate. And try to get him to answer you and then shut up again. And sooner or later, hopefully he'll break and come in if a hen doesn't come to him. Of course, once he starts getting close, I usually go to a mouth call, and all he'll hear is some little low yelps. You can also turn your head to make him think that hen's farther away. that might bring him that extra few yards it takes to get into range. And of course, when he gets in close, you want to keep your gun barrel pointed to where he's coming. Sometimes if they quit gobbling, you got to listen for that buzzing sound. You'll hear that when they're strutting. When they go behind a tree, when they get in range, wait till their head gets behind the tree or until they turn with that tail facing you that's hiding their head. Then they can't see you move that gun to get on them. Normally I use number 6s, sometimes 5s if I'm hunting an open field. Now up in the morning when you're trying to locate birds, I'll usually do a loud cutting call. But before I do that, I'll usually use a crow call and see if I can get one to answer that. And that way you can get close to them before you ever make your turkey sounds. Basically, you're shocking a gobble out of that bird, and you make him gobble. Once you know where he is, then you can get in a little bit closer and get set up. Because the way it works in the spring, early in the morning, those adult gobblers and especially your dominant birds have got those hens with them, and the hens start leaving them and going to their nest up in the middle of the morning. So in mid-morning, that gobbler might be out there by himself, and when he is, and he hears this crow call, it'll shock gobble him. Or if you cut to him, either on a slate or on a mouth call. And a cut, by the way, is a staccato sound. It goes up and down, and there's no certain rhythm to it. That hen does that cutting after she lays her egg, and that gobbler, she's letting that gobbler know where she's at. So if he answers that, there again, you can get in a little closer, or if you're already close enough, you can sit down and go ahead and call him up. And I would say probably 70–80% of the time up in the morning like that, if you get a bird to answer, you can get him to come in. There again, no bird's the same. Some birds will like soft calling. Some birds will like, maybe you use a mouth call, they don't answer. You use a slate, they don't answer. You can use a box call. You can hit them with a box call. A lot of times that'll do it. Sometimes you can just change your mouth call to a different call, give them a different sound. Possibly it's something to do with the hen they've been meeting there at a certain time of the day, and you hit that call that sounds like that particular hen, and that'll bring them in. Now I like a little slate call. We make this slate call, and I like it for real close in stuff, clucking and purring. And that's a real good call to use when a gobbler's hung up just out of sight. You can take that slate and do that clucking and purring. You can also take this and you can make a fighting purr. And if you've got a dominant bird out there and he hears that, he can't stand to have those two birds in his area, and he'll come in to try to run them off. So you can do that fighting purr. Now, sometimes if you've got a subdominant bird out there and you use this, he'll go the other way. But if it's a dominant bird, he'll normally come on in. I've killed several birds that way. You just go both directions on your slate. usually throw a few little hen yelps in too to make them think there's a hen there with them. Throw that in. And if I've got my mouth call in on a stubborn bird, sometimes you can make it sound like more than one hen. And sometimes little tricks like that's all it takes to bring in your turkey.
Well, I hope you got something out of Charlie's tips there. I know I sure did. I've been using that heating and cooling technique for quite a while, and it really seems to work and helps you fill out and see what the bird wants. Like every turkey's different. You gotta feel them out first, see what they want. But hope these tips help you, and if they do, comment, send us a picture on our Facebook page, something like that, and let us know what you think. Also, if you got any other tips, these are just what we do to help cold turkeys. Put it in the comment below if you got other tips. I don't get too big on the decoys. I always only run one hen if I even run one. That's another video for another time I'll put out. So thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe. We'll have more videos like this coming out. Thank you guys. God bless.